and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. Today I have some very exciting news, at least it is to me, and I will explain why as we get into the articles. Ledger users can now connect their wallets to DeFi DEX. The hardware wallet company has stepped into the world of decentralized finance, the DeFi, and Ledger, which is a producer of cryptocurrency hardware wallets, announced today that its users can now connect their devices to the Diversified Decentralized Exchange, or DEX. Hardware wallets plus DeFi. As a result of this integration, Ledger has become one of the first hardware wallet makers to step into the space of decentralized finance, or DeFi. Its users now have the ability to trade cryptocurrencies, confirm transactions, and sign messages directly from their devices, all while retaining the control over their private keys. Although DEXs are generally considered more reliable than their custodial counterparts, that greater security tends to come at a price of lower liquidity rates. However, the press release claims that users will get access to instant settlement and deep liquidity. When asked about potential liquidity issues, a Ledger representative told Cointelegraph, in the coming months, Ledger will be launching new features such as buying and swapping, which will be available to everyone with a nano, regardless of where they trade. Different coins have different liquidities on any exchange, and we don't necessarily see DEX liquidity as a problem. Diversify 2.0 and Diversify relaunched earlier this week as incorporated Starkware's ZK Stark Layer 2 scaling technology. The new platform is now reportedly able to process over 9,000 transactions per second, keeping other benefits of a decentralized platform. What I like about this is, for example, the Engine Smart Wallet is doing what this is looking to do, although this is going to have a much greater liquidity and you're going to retain your keys, which I find very exciting. Because with the thing that we look at, those of us have been here years and years when nothing was easy, to where the simplicity of it is today, and seeing as 2020, the new technology that continues to get released is what we were looking for years ago. How would this roll out? How would this play out? How would this actually happen when the time for adoption had arrived? And now we're seeing it more and more clearly, and the simplicity of it makes common sense, which is amazing. Because as we have always said, what is going to make the mom and pop, or the grandmother, the grandparent, so to speak, someone who stereotypically is not as tech savvy as you or even the younger generations, what's going to make them want to get involved as an investor or even as a user for the new technology, the new systems, the new digital assets, the new banking and financial industry? And here we have it. This makes everything very simple, very safe, protected, and very simple. So the ease of this is what's going to make adoption spread very quickly. Now imagine all of this getting easier and easier each year on top of regulatory clarity. As an investor, where do you see yourself? Especially those of you who are invested, as we follow on this channel. We do have our favorites, but we will discuss others as well. But those of you who have what they consider hybrids. As we know, the hybrids are on the distributed ledger technology, which will be running the new financial system, as we've shown time and again, directly from those who control the financial industry. The next article, digital currencies could replace low-interest bank accounts, says a UN expert. Digital currencies could supersede bank accounts as low interest rates make them increasingly obsolete. That's the view of Massimo Bonomo, the UN's global blockchain expert, who added that digital currencies, particularly central bank digital currencies, as you may know them as CBDCs, could soon eliminate the need for a bank account altogether. Speaking on an online panel discussing the future post issue at hand order on Thursday, Bonomo said banks and credit cards have long enjoyed a duopoly on digital payments, but the advent of digital currencies means users could sidestep them entirely. The low interest rates enforced by central banks to encourage more borrowing, it may expedite the process, he said, as they incentivize account holders to hunt for returns elsewhere. The Bank of England, for example, is actively reviewing taking interest rates into negative territory, meaning savers would pay the banks to hold money in their bank accounts, and U.S. President Donald Trump recently pushed for negative rates, calling them a gift. On that negative interest rates, you have multiple sides to that. I mean, if you have a home mortgage, it's probably going to pay you to own that or pay some of it back. But if you do have savings in your account that you've been holding and accruing, now that's where it's going to hurt you because it's going to be taking away from that. So that's where the savers are punished in this instance. So hopefully my thoughts are that this takes off fast enough that these don't become an issue for anyone and that we can see our investments rise soon enough. We are living in the perfect storm, the perfect moment for these to be needed and necessary. Again, especially with the hybrid digital assets. This is the perfect moment for them to shine. Back into the article, according to Bonomo, interest rates were the one remaining killer app for bank accounts, but they are in danger of becoming obsolete in the face of digital currencies, which can process electronic payments just as easily. Those who are going to suffer the most from digital currencies are the credit card processing companies and the banks, because in the current interest rate environment, your only advantage of having a bank account is that it enables digital payments, he said. Bonomo has been the UN's resident expert on fintech and latterly blockchain and cryptocurrencies for nearly 10 years. During his tenure, the international organization has begun a series of crypto-related initiatives, such as sending aid to Syria via Ethereum and enabling crypto donations for UNICEF. On Thursday's panel, Bonomo said banks remain vulnerable to hacks, and along with credit card companies, they add friction by charging transaction fees. In contrast, digital currencies allow you to hold digital money. It lets you pay the bills, use the phone without a credit card, and no fees to credit card processing companies and no fees to banks for money transfers, he said. But of course, there remain questions on what type of digital currency could replace the ubiquitous bank account. In a March interview with City AM, Bonomo argued Bitcoin and Ether, two public cryptocurrencies that enjoy widespread adoption, had a fighting chance in becoming alternatives to fiat currencies. But on Thursday, he took a more measured approach, saying tech limitations and privacy implications mean that most public blockchains are widely unsuited for a national digital currency. Regulators would need overarching control over the system, he said, and many public blockchains don't have the throughput required. Digital currencies issued by a central bank were the real alternative, Bonomo argued. The question is whether central banks rely on commercial banks to distribute money, just as the Digital Dollar Foundation proposed last week, or go more radical and issue funds to private citizens directly. The one-tier model would be the most disruptive, he said, and just as feasible. And central banks could piggyback off the sophisticated social security systems that are widespread in the developed world to distribute currency to those who need it most, such as the disabled and the registered unemployed. And in a sense, social security systems could become the issuance model for the central banks, Bonomo suggested. And again, hearing that statement there, going through that, what is the one thing during this issue at hand, at least in the United States? The U.S. President Donald Trump has stated over and over again that he did not want to send out these payments on the old, antiquated system because many people were not receiving the stimulus payments that were needed as and when they were needed. He wanted to use the new system and send direct and send immediately. And we do know with the hybrid system that is currently being used, we've exposed and shared all of the content that Ethereum, Ripple, and Stellar are the major factors and disruptors in the new financial system. And in regards to, for example, Ripple and Stellar, Ripple more focused on the institutional side, the wholesale enterprise, and Stellar being more focused on the unbanked, underbanked, and the retail side of aspect of things. Can they do both of each other? Absolutely. They can each flip and do both sides of that, but that is not the focus. And as we've shared from the CEOs of Chain and other people who are directly involved in working in this industry, have stated and said that they're focused on different lanes. They are not competition. So that is what caught our attention and focused on sharing the information on both of those digital assets, including Ethereum. Basically, the seems the most favorite of this channel would probably be Zenfin, being the hybrid version of Ethereum. So here again, we've shared that, for example, Zenfin is a partner of R3 and working with XRP on the Corda settler. And again, we've shown that IBM uses Stellar on an extensive amount. And then we've shown that Stronghold, their USD-backed digital currency, is based off on Stellar. And we've shown again how Iran has a gold-backed digital currency on Stellar. Again, we've shown so many different arrays and variety of positions being held by these digital assets that it's exciting to see they're actually coming down to the final mile of this marathon. All right, guys, I want to leave you with a final thought. To believe in something and to not live it is dishonest. All right, guys, remember this is not financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only, and we will catch you in the next one.